She can join anytime. All right, we're live on YouTube.
We're live.
We sure are.
Are we live?
Mhm,
We look alive.
mhm.
We're kind of alive.
Yeah.
And so when she, we got a couple of minutes. And how can we see who's joining us on YouTube? Is that possible?
Well,
On one of the phones, maybe?
yeah,
Stick with us, everyone.
I'll have to do it that way.
If you're on with us, everyone, stick with us. Of course, Reed Booth here, Killer Bee Guy. We have a interesting show this morning with a fellow professional in the field, exterminator, actually. And she had a little bit of an incident up in Safford, which is a town in Green Lake County. It's the county north of Cochise County. Had a little killer bee incident. And it's going to be very interesting to chat with her. Hosh is going to be recording this, and we're going to be live on what, Facebook and TikTok?
We are obviously live on TikTok, on
On
Facebook,
Facebook
and on YouTube.
and on YouTube.
Yep, and I've actually got access to comments.
Okay, oh, good. So we have, so comment if you would like on, yeah, comment on YouTube, on all comments, I guess. So
Yep.
we'll try to get to them, of
People
course.
have questions and
This is
stuff.
going to be a live with this gal, a friend of ours, and a member of the Killer Bee Nation, of course. I've got to actually text her and make sure that she knows that we're live right now, live from the hive. I'm Reed Booth, Killer Bee Guy. We have a show this morning, a little different than normal. It's a post-bee attack, a post-beeapocalypse show. Basically, we had 3 people attacked and really hurt in Safford a couple of days ago from killer bees, of course. Now, this gal is going to be joining us is a friend, and she's absolutely wonderful. I'm going to text her here. Her name, she's Jennifer Casey, and she's out of Safford. Like I said, I've got to text her and let her know we're on. Have we got anybody on with us on YouTube yet?
We do.
Okay,
We
good.
have about 25 people.
All right, stick with us, everybody, just for a minute.
We're live on TikTok and.
All right, very good. Stick with us, everybody, on social media. We're having a live show this morning, talking about killer bees, of course, and the danger that they, the threat that they pose, and how nasty they really are. We're going to have an interview here in a minute. I've got to text her and let her know that we are on live. We are live from the hive, everybody. Yeah, Killer Bee Nation, it's great to have you this morning. It's going to be a rainy day here in Bisbee. All right, I can take that. Yeah, because normally it's just, we are a mile high in the mountains in Cochise County. It's absolutely beautiful. We actually get snow here. But right now, it is the monsoons. It's supposed to be, but it's been kind of a piss poor monsoon, actually. So we're hoping it rains all day long. So it's kind of nice to be. I would like to have a huge shout out to the Bisbee Coffee Company. My good friend, the Pages, they're family, actually. I just love these guys. Is she on yet?
Yeah, I'm just looking to see.
All right, we're going to see if she's on yet or not. Stick with us, everybody. We're just getting started here. Big shout out to Bisbee Coffee Company here in Bisbee. They roast their own coffee, and they have a restaurant. They're absolutely wonderful. And I contacted my buddy and Rob Page, and the Pages are like family to me, just like family. I love them. And we needed a quiet space to operate, to do this show, and also really good Wi-Fi, so we had reception so we can do this, so you can see us. There ain't too much pixelation and all that shit like usual. So here we are, and a big shout out to the Pages and Bisbee Coffee Company. Really, thank you so much, you guys. Bisbee Hospitality Center. So is she with us yet? Okay, hold on a second. All right, now I'm multitasking everything. See, this is us on us with us. Is what that is. Yeah.
Pretty mad.
There's what we look like all across the. Are we? God dang, I tell you, we're high tech, aren't we?
Yeah.
We have indoor plumbing too. I'll just have you know that. Darky. So if you're making comments, please keep up. We have comments on TikTok and YouTube, and of course I can't see them. we're letting Jennifer get on live with us, and we're figuring out the
Yeah,
IT
she's
shit.
not, she's just not there
She's
yet.
just not there
We're
yet.
gonna watch for a bit of
All right.
a
Stick with us for a second, everyone.
notification. I'm just gonna do
We're
this for
doing-
now.
We have an interview with a friend of ours from Safford, Arizona, who a stinging incident. I mean, horrible. Can I enlarge this out, Hosh?
Well, I want to
full
make
screen?
sure that.
Okay,
yeah,
very good, very good, no problem. All right.
We just want to keep
No,
an
that's
eye
right.
on
That's
the
right.
notification from her.
I just figured the bigger I am, the better. What?
Well, I mean, theoretically.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that one there. Anyway, welcome to the Hive, everyone. So Jennifer Casey up in Safford. A few days ago, and I'm gonna let her tell most of the story, but they had bees in a hotel and 3 stories up. And they got really stung up. It's really not good. It's really, really a bad situation, actually. In the hospital, people ended up in the hospital. They're alive. An interesting thing that we will be talking about is, admit we have,
There we go.
is that her up
Yeah,
there?
yeah, just bring her.
Looks like
in.
we might have Jennifer come on. Stick with us, Killer Bee Nation.
I mean, I hope it's her.
Oh boy, who the hell we got coming on now, huh?
I'm sure it's her.
Yeah, so we're gonna let Jennifer get on with us now. And there she is.
Okay.
Hi,
Hi, Jennifer. How are you? Good morning.
good morning.
You know, for almost dying, you look great.
Well, I'm still pretty swollen, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Still pulling stingers out.
Oh, did any more fall on your pillow?
No, thankfully not.
Wow. Wow. What did they, all right, so let's just bring everybody up to speed here. I'm Reed Booth, Killer Bee Guy, of course. I'm in Bisbee, Arizona. This is our good friend, Jennifer Casey. She's up in Safford, right?
Yes.
Now, so introduce yourself and what you do, because she's a professional, guys. She is a pro, all right?
So let me
So-
see if I can get you guys side by side.
Oh, she's
Right-
gonna, okay,
Okay.
hold on a second.
Right
Let's
now
gonna
it's-
see if,
okay.
It's switching back and forth between
so I'll
speakers.
let you see what so see how high tech we are?
I know, I like that.
I didn't know. So we're like, and a couple of these phones, Don Shar got us, and they're working really good for this. We're live on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And so we want to, of course, as you know, tell people what the heck's going on there. That's much
There
better.
we
Huh?
go.
There we
Right.
go.
So,
Yeah, that's much better, side by side.
good.
Yes. So introduce yourself, what you do, and kind of what happened, all right?
Okay, well, my name's Jennifer. I help run a family pest control business here in Safford. And so with that in mind, I've been doing pest control on and off for 19 years, the last 9 years consecutively. And I handle a lot of emergency bee calls for our county, for our city, and for the town next to us. And a lot of times that consists of removing swarms from trees in the parks, bees, beehives out of water boxes. For those emergency type calls, we just did one a month ago, removed a Africanized hive off the pitch of our courthouse, which was 96 feet in the air, which
Oh, that's fun.
I got to climb a fire truck ladder, which was pretty cool. So
Oh, that's awesome. A hook and ladder.
yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you're a firefighter also.
Well, no, I'm not. So
Okay.
the thing is, technically, because I have a contract with the city and the county, they call me for like the emergency bee stuff that they need help with.
Yeah, like us down here. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yep. So, what was it? 3 days ago, we had you had an incident that kind of went sideways.
Yes. Tuesday morning, actually, there's a hotel, 3-story hotel that had a beehive there. They say it was over a year, which we know how that goes. You got to get those things right away. But,
Yep.
my preference is to work beehives in the evening, just because I don't like the bees all over me. I mean, you guys are great at it, but me, I feel a little bit. That's how I do it.
We're usually too busy to only do it at night. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, they rented a lift, and the lift didn't get there till 8 o'clock, and it was already about 104 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning. So you know how they get real agitated.
Oh boy.
So, what we did is, my son who works with me, He does a lot of the comb removal. Once I get the bees killed out of there, he'll do like the comb removal, the cleanup, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But so he wanted to suit up and go up on the lift just to see what we were going to have to deal with. Well, we had a bee suit for the the lift operator.
And he's
right
the only
beside him.
one, he's the only one that knew how to operate the lift.
Yes. And so he actually trains people how to run this special lift and everything. And
Awesome.
so, yeah. And so the thing is, I think we should have taken precautionary measures. And, when we said, show us how to release this emergency thing up on the top.
Right.
Because he's, I got it. I said, put that bee suit on just in case anything comes out. I just went back to my truck just around the corner where I could park it.
So you laid a bee suit out for the operator?
Yes.
Got it.
And so I didn't have a bee suit on. My plan was he was just going to go up, take a look at it, see what we needed to deal with. And while they had that lift, for 24 hours, we go back in the evening and take care of them.
So your son was going to go up and take a peek at it?
He was just going to go right up there, see where exactly they're going in and out, and come right back down.
Got it.
So as soon as he got up there, I think the vibration of the lift or, the sound of the lift. Yeah.
CO2. Yep,
CO2.
Yep.
He wasn't even that close. He wasn't even that close. I sent you some pictures. He wasn't even that close to the hive. I mean, it was up above him still.
Yeah. 15 feet away or 10 feet away.
Yeah. As soon as he got up there, a big black mass of bees came out and completely covered him. His white bee suit
He didn't disturb him. He didn't ring the doorbell. He didn't do nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
Just being up there.
Yeah.
And so I start running back to the lift. The lift operator didn't have the suit on. He decided not to put on. He thought, oh, it's not a big deal. We run into that a lot where people don't take Africanized bees seriously. They don't, they underestimate,
Every day.
and even in my line of work, it, like I was telling you before, you can become so complacent and that's when you get hurt. So you really have,
yeah.
And I think that may have just been kind of, on our fault there. We just kind of got complacent. You do it all the time. You think, all right, well, this is our game plan. We'll just take a look at it. Then we'll go back and do a safer option in the evening,
Sure.
When it's not going to be so hot.
Well, if we could do it in the evening in a snowstorm in February at 20 degrees, I'd do it every time.
Right.
Right. You know that.
Yeah. So what happened is that lift operator got stung a couple times in his face, and he locked that lift and he took off running around the building. And so my son was up there locked in that lift, and I could not get him down. I was trying everything, even the emergency button you push, and like you're supposed to hold it and push something down is what it said on there. I did that. It wouldn't do it because it was locked up.
Your son is up there fully enclosed.
Completely covered.
Yeah, he's got his bee suit on, but he is completely covered.
Yes.
That's panic land.
Yeah, and they were hitting him so hard through his sting-proof bee suit, those 3-layer mesh ones.
Yeah. And if it was 100 and some odd degrees, so if you get sweaty and it sticks to your skin, they sting through it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were hitting him so hard that he was getting stung through his suit.
Yep.
I mean, they were full force hitting like we were talking about.
And he's trapped up there, 30 feet.
He's trapped. And then so he starts screaming, which makes it more agitated. I'm yelling at the bottom, help, I'm calling for the guy. I'm like, tell me what to do. It was a real nightmare. And, thankfully there was I hate to say it like this, but there was another maintenance guy from the other hotel. He heard me yelling. He ran over there and he got that thing unlocked, but he took about 75 stings to the face. But he, and that lift is going down too slow.
Yeah.
He got to just a little bit below the second floor, and my son ended up taking off his safety harness and jumped.
Jumped from what, 10 feet?
Yeah.
My.
Covered in bees.
Yeah, I've seen and you've heard me say this before, Jennifer, this is Jennifer Casey. She's in Safford, just a note of where we are here, everyone. She's another professional up there, licensed exterminator actually in the state of Arizona. And of course, I'm Reed Booth, killer bee guy. Same, we're co-professionals here. And as she watches a lot of what we do and whatnot. And so anyway, I just wanted to bring everyone up to speed on where we're at on that. But I watched guys run off of roofs. Run out in front of traffic. And so for your son to jump out, I've seen it, absolutely. 10 feet, I'm glad he didn't break something.
Right. Absolutely. And I'm, the doctor at the emergency room said probably his adrenaline pumping is what saved him from really getting injured.
Yeah.
We took off
Dying,
running.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point they had already called the fire department, but our hospital isn't that far away. Yeah. We jumped in the truck and I drove him down there, and those bees were still chasing us behind the truck.
The cloud
about 3 miles away. Yeah.
People, you remember the old days, and they still say this all the time, where they'll chase you for a quarter of a mile.
They'll chase you for miles.
Yeah, miles, exactly. We're putting the bee back in BS. I mean, yeah, as you know, they've chased our fire truck for 10 miles on a ranch. When we're going 15 miles an hour to get to a fence, have to open up a fence, go dirt road for another few miles to the next fence. These ranches out there are huge, as you know. You've lived in Bisbee,
right?
Yeah. And so they chased you for 3 miles, the cloud of bees. Okay, what? So you get into the ER?
We take off. At this point, he can't breathe. And I'm having a hard time breathing because I didn't have a suit. I'm here trying to save him, get him down.
Oh my God.
So I took about 137 stings to the face, shoulders, upper back, my scalp, and then more because I've been pulling out stingers for 3 days.
So at least
he got 57 stings, mainly around like the arm, like, I don't know, through, even they got into the gloves.
Yep.
Even.
Yep.
And
yep.
It's pretty terrifying. And I hope that was, this was definitely an eye opener for me, that you really have to think every step through. Okay, what's my game plan from A to B? And
so many details. Yes.
Yes. And to let people know you can't mess around with these bees. Matter of fact, I got a call. That's why I was a little late getting on here. I just got a call for some bees in a water box over in the other town. Yeah, right now. Yeah. And so they put out the signs and all that, and I'll go take care of that before I go. But they said that a guy came out and he just saw some bees flying around the entrance to the water box. So he got out there and tried to, spray them with some wasp killer, and they swarmed out after him.
Oh my God. And of course, water meter boxes, they flip the lids off all the time.
Right. And they have the hole in top.
Yeah. And thinking they'll go away.
Yeah. Now, well, they've got that hole in top, makes a perfect cavity for those bees,
Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing I've got to tell you that I'm sure I've talked with you before about, and I want all the listeners to know about this, because when you get stung, it sends a pheromone to the hive that here's the intruder, as you know, as a professional, but I'm going to let everybody else know about all this. So when you get stung, that air around your son and around your truck and everything was so saturated with pheromone, attack pheromone, they chased your whole damn truck for 3 miles. Right. As you've heard me say, I've seen them stinging birds flying overhead, telephone poles. They don't care. It's mayhem. All right. Now, because you guys got stung so much, you're marked. All right. Put on your sleep in your bee suit for a couple of weeks. Like this job you have to do, you are amazing. You take that, you're going to go do more bees this morning. I tell you, hon, you're amazing. So but you are marked. And so they're going to fly past anyone else to you and your son because you've been envenomated with the pheromone, and it goes into your bloodstream. It's subcutaneous. It gets into your bloodstream. So depending on your metabolism, of course, for up to a week, you're marked and you are the enemy. And so, going fully suited. And of course, as you know, my great fears are ripping the suit, because they will find it, and they will open your gloves like you with your son, and they will find it because they're the evil little bastards.
Yep.
Yep. So,
and my truck. So I need to wash my truck. I haven't done that yet. my
Mhm.
truck, I noticed, so I had it parked. I was out working last night, was towards the end of the evening,
Yeah.
when we talked. And so I'm working at, spraying this prison. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but there's a lot of mesquite trees and stuff. So, there's hives around there, some feral hives around there.
Of course. Yeah.
So I got out, and there was bees flying around the tailgate of my truck, and there's no honey in there or nothing there. I mean, I said, oh, they've
Yep.
dropped it all over my truck too.
Yep. And so people don't realize that when these Africanized bees, European bees didn't do this, but Africanized bees, they get so mad they drip venom. Even if they're not stinging you, they will land on your truck and drip venom, or on your net, or so your suits are saturated. I've given up on that kind of thing. The suits are, we of course, and we get new suits about once a year or something like that. The Provents, they're a couple $100, and
Yeah.
so we get, and a lot of fans buy us suits actually now to keep us alive, because we're entertaining AF. But
Yeah.
but they, you get so saturated with it, and your truck and your equipment, it's like, okay, whatever, I'm going to make sure I'm zipped up good, and here we go to war,
Right.
But now you said, and one thing that I've talked with you about personally, and of course you guys have heard me talk about this out there, Killer Bee Nation, is delayed reaction. Right now, and I used to hear this from old cowboys and ranchers out here primarily because they live outside, and so they're gonna, if anybody's gonna get bit by a snake or have to chase off a mountain lion or get attacked by bees, probably gonna be these guys. And so I would get calls back in the day, and I still do actually, from cowboys or something that would say, I got stung 20 times a week ago, and I took a Benadryl, like you said, thank you, and I felt great, and I've been out, branding or whatever, and it's a week later, and I'm in the hospital. All right, I got all of the reactions of an anaphylactic shock. So tell me what happened to your son last night.
He started swelling up with hives, just like he had just got stung all over again. Itching, having coughing a lot, all that all over again,
Yep.
and thankfully that subsided. We didn't have to go back, but I'm still keeping an eye on him because,
Oh God.
you just don't know.
Right.
You never know. And for myself too, because this was probably the worst situation I've ever been in. I've been stung a lot, but
Sure.
It's something about these the new invasive species of Africanized bees. They're just something different about them, and they're
Yep.
very, very dangerous.
And even the delayed reaction, there is no rhyme or reason to it. The venom is technically the same, but yet, as like the doctors even told you, correct?
Right.
To expect this. They
Right.
didn't used to do that with envenomation.
Right.
It's like you might have a delayed reaction in a few days or a week or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely horrifying. People, you are so correct when you say that people don't take this seriously.
Right.
And of course, what, and also what we were talking last night on the phone with Jennifer. I've been talking to her for the last few days, obviously, of course. Honeybees, European honeybees, aren't an invasive species to the Western Hemisphere. They just simply are. There were no honeybees in the state of Arizona before 1872, ever, and so they were brought here by the Europeans. That's why they're called European honeybees, not Alabama honeybees or Southwestern honeybees. They're called European honeybees. So invasive species. Okay, but we could live with them. I'm saying we could, because they didn't try to kill us and they gave us honey. Isn't that adorable? They're still hell on native pollinators. Well, now we have this Africanized. Take European, breed them with Africanized. And they've created a Frankenbee in the 1950s. Now they are all over the Western Hemisphere, unfortunately. Now we have to add a new term to our invasive species. It's deadly invasive species. All of a sudden, our sweet little honeybees aren't sweet anymore. Are not at all. And every single hive that you come across now can do what happened to you. Every single one of them. And to think I put this on airplane mode. Anyway, so yeah, every single hive. So people say this all the time. Well, they can't be Africanized because they haven't tried to kill me yet. Isn't that adorable?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, talk about preaching to the choir here, you are something else, Jennifer. You are
No, I love doing it, but when you come pretty close like that, which I'm sure you have many times.
to dying. Yeah, to dying, or watching
Yeah.
animals die, or watching, the
Mhm.
helicopter take off with someone in it.
Yeah.
It's or running your son to the hospital.
Yes. And having him trapped up there was really scary. So there's a lot of things that we could have done different, and we definitely will.
Yeah.
For one thing, it was a good lesson in not being complacent. It was a good lesson in, making sure you have a strategized plan when you're going to work with bees,
Yeah.
to do everything you can.
People have no idea how many details there are that go into what you and I do in the field, especially around public places, schools, right? The international border, right? Which I've had to shut down numerous times, as you know.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I've stressed to people that are doing this, these are not ants and termites. Okay.
Right.
So when you go, when you get on the ground and you're dealing with Africanized bees, whether they've attacked or not, you are the boss.
Mhm.
Period. And if
Yeah.
someone, like when we get to a job and I tell someone to put on a bee suit and they say, "Oh no, I don't need it," I say, "Well, then we're leaving. We're going to come back
Yes.
and we have someone who is." And of course, I'll lighten it up a little bit and say, because there's going to be no mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. I mean,
Right.
they're gonna either get themselves killed, or worse, have someone trapped up in a man lift 30 foot up.
Right.
And so there's a lot of details to it, and they are a horrifying experience. I'm so glad you guys are okay. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad that I have you as my mentor,
Well, thank you.
because I've actually learned so much, just from, when I lived in Bisbee, and then I started watching you on TikTok, and I said, this guy's pretty cool. I know him. And hey, I do that little trick there too. And oh, I can't believe this guy's doing this during the daytime. Look at how mean those bees are, And I think, man, if I could just get brave enough to do it.
Yeah, and like I've said, if we could choose our times, a lot of times we would only do it at night. We would only do it at night. Absolutely. Yeah. But we're just way too busy. And as you've seen, we don't use smoke anymore. They just don't care.
Right. And it seems like it makes them more agitated.
That is, I'm glad you said that, because the beekeepers, of course, are totally against us, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I know, 100%.
100%. And even if they think there are people now keeping Africanized bees.
Yes, there are.
Oh my God. And the deadly invasive species, they're trying, I don't know if they're trying to kill off all of our native pollinators or what, because that's the ground level that I always go to is, invasive species. Why is anyone keeping an invasive species? I don't know. It makes no sense to me, let alone a deadly one. What's the romance about it? The Winnie the Pooh shit. I don't know, and so it baffles me about that they are deadly, and there is no romance to it. There's no reason to do it.
Right.
There just isn't.
Yeah.
But so smoke doesn't work. We used to use soapy water. Absolutely. But I got too many complaints from, people about the mess. And I'm not talking about the mess on the sidewalk with dead bees and soapy water. I'm talking about if you have your power washer and bees are attacking and the bees are in the soffit, you're going to spray them down. Well, then the ceiling of the drywall comes down in the bedroom.
Right.
And also, honestly, the reason we don't have more equipment on the truck is it's more shit to trip over in the field. We have ladders. Yes, all of our tools now are cordless. So we don't have cords. So we don't have generators pissing bees off. Running cords every which direction, hoses for power washers, right. Etc. So people don't. And why do you only use those little cans of spray adhesive? Because I'm not going to go hiking 3 miles to a cave or a mine shaft with a 20-pound pack on my back of just soapy water.
Right. I've done that. I've done that.
I figured you had.
It's not fun.
I have too. And it's like, no, I'm never doing that again. Oh, look, I've got a few cans of this shit.
Yeah.
And so So people always ask, so why don't you smoke? Why don't you flame, burn the thing? Oh, I love that. Okay, we live in the desert, everyone. No fires. Forget. I
Right.
wish we could hold my beer. Oh, absolutely. Not going to happen,
Right.
But so it's so nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too.
It really
Yeah.
is. And I'm so glad. My heart goes out to you. I'm so glad that you're okay. You have my
Yeah.
number. Call me anytime. You know that.
Okay, I sure will.
You know that. And of course, if you ever get back down here and, to say hi to family or friends or whatnot, give a holler and all that, you know where we are,
Okay.
Are you heading out? You got places?
We've got to get ready to go. So we're taking a little trip, but I do have to go get the other suit that hasn't been stung a whole bunch and has been washed, and go put some duct tape around my ankles and go take care of these water box bees before we
Yeah.
go. So
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, hon, after what you went through, you need a medal, a halo, and therapy. Maybe not in that order.
Right.
And keep an eye out for those delayed reactions.
Okay, I sure will.
Yep. And best of all, give me a call in a couple of days, please, because I worry about this. You know that.
Oh, I know. I will. I'll update you.
All right. Very good. All right. Everyone.
All right.
Everyone say goodbye to Jennifer Casey up in Safford. Bless your socks, hon. Oh my God. You're amazing. I don't know how she's going to go do bees right now. She's worse than we are. For God's sake. All right.
You just do what you got to do.
Thanks. Thank you so much for joining us with this, and have a safe journey today. And
Okay,
I'll talk to you in a couple of days.
Sounds great. Thank you
All
for
right,
having
great.
me on here.
All right, very good.
Bye.
We'll see you later. All right, Killer Bee Nation, we're going to stick around for a minute and answer some questions and whatnot. We're still live on all the, I'm sure we have a lot of comments and whatnot, because this is a rare opportunity to talk.
We do. You know what I want to do on this TikTok phone? I want to switch over to the Wi-Fi.
Oh, very good.
Right. So let me go grab that password.
Oh, it's on this phone in the gallery. I took a
great,
picture of it.
great.
Ain't I something there? So once again, we'll show everyone how important we are. Yes, indeed, we're on all of the social media functions. Yes, that's correct. And live from the hive, there's everyone commenting and saying how amazing we are, which we already knew. No, anyway, so host is gonna get on TikTok with the Wi-Fi, because apparently it might be pixelating a little bit or something.
Yeah, there's a bit of a lag. I think we just
Bit of a lag. Okay, so hang with us on TikTok and all. We're good on Facebook and YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Reed Booth, Killer Bee Guy. Host is on camera action today. We are not in the bee suit at this particular point in time, but we are talking about Africanized bees, killer bees, aka. And it used to be that we didn't think they were appropriately named killer bees. Yeah, they are. I think that we should rename them killer Satan bees. I mean, everybody was like, oh, why name them killer bees? Well, I didn't name them a damn thing. Okay.
Nobody likes any other names.
Nobody likes any of their
People
names
get
except
upset about
nice little gentle honeybees. That's the only thing they like, because they're fuzzy and shit. I don't know what it is. Winnie the Pooh crap. Anyway, I've been dealing with Africanized bees since the day they came in to the United States, into Cochise County anyway. And that's over 30 years ago. That was about 30 years ago, actually. We started getting ornery hives earlier than that. Now, granted, Italians, there are a lot of different European honeybees. There's, Italians, Carnolians, Russians, Germans, blah, 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 etc. And they can get pissy. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. But nothing like these guys, of course, these Africanized bees, the crossbreed of European and African to make Africanized. And I want to explain why we call them Africanized, is because even to this day, genetically tested, they are still 96 to 98% African genes. Okay, so Africanized. Also, the strain that was brought in for experiments in breeding were from Africa. So 1 + 1 still equals 3. So they're Africanized. So that's just the way that is. I like killer bees personally, because they're not nice. But of course, I always go to ground level on this. We are pro native pollinator. Okay, that's what we stand for. We are pro native pollinator. When people say if all the bees die, we will die, they're correct, but they're not defining which bees. If all of the native pollinators go, it's not just us that are screwed. It's all of the animals. It's all of the other insects. It's all of the reptiles. They are the base of everything. Now, if all of the honeybees were to go away from the Western Hemisphere, it really wouldn't make much of a difference, except we wouldn't have as many melons on our tables and not as much honey.
I think we'd be better off. In terms
Probably
of
better off.
Biodiversity.
Well, from biodiversity standpoint and ecological and conservation, environmental standpoint, of course, we'd be a lot better off without honeybees because they are invasive species to the Western Hemisphere. They belong in Asia, Europe, and Africa. Absolutely. So I'm going to go look over here to Hosh and see if we have any comments, because I really want to see who's on. And I'm Reed Booth, live from the Hive, Killer Bee Nation. What do we got going on, Hosh?
Oh, we got all our friends here. We got Ramona, we got Gregory, we got Carrie, we got TBH 791.
Oh, good morning, you guys.
All the friends are here. Jules is here, and NC Bigfoot. And,
hey, Bigfoot, what's up? All right.
Yep. So yeah, I don't see our buddy Don. I did see Mel Riddle pop up here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is Mel on? Hey, how are you?
So,
Congratulations.
And on Facebook, we got Anthony and
hey,
of course,
Anthony.
Judy is over there on Judy's over there on Judy M there, Meyer. Yeah, is over there on TikTok. And actually, Judy asked a good one. She says, do we have native bees that make honey?
That's a really good question, actually. Do we have native bees that make honey? No, we don't. No, honeybees are the only one. Before the Europeans brought honeybees from Europe to the east coast of the US, there were no honeybees in the Western Hemisphere ever. The Native Americans hated them so much, they called them white man's flies, and that was the nice ones. There are records of our colonists writing home to Europe saying, send my honeybees on the next ship. There are none here. So they brought them. So that's a really good question. That was Judy.
Yeah,
That's a good. There are no native pollinators. Now in Central America, let me clarify this. In Central America, Costa Rica, Panama, and I believe northern South America, not here in the northern latitudes or south of that latitudes, there was and still are a few, but talk about going extinct because of Africanization in particular, a few native non-stinging honeybees in those jungle areas. Now there's still a few left, but they bite really hard. So the natives that would go try to locate and get honey from these things, which is very little honey that they would make, and very convoluted combs. So it's not like you could, use them for production or anything like that. But also on top of that, they're native to those jungle conditions. Costa Rica, Panama, and northern South America is the only place they existed. So on that note, Judy, those are the only ones. But as far as actually, the honeybees we're familiar with, as in stinging honeybees, no. And there are no other native pollinators that make honey. There are none. And also on top of that, native pollinators are mostly solitary. They work alone. And so these Africanized in particular, but honeybees as a rule are gangs. They work, there'd be 50,000, 100,000 in one house, in one hive, whereas native pollinators live alone. So they are no match for the horde of Vikings that comes to, they will actually kill or drive off our native pollinators on flowers to take the nectar. And then not pollinate the flower correctly because they are not attuned to that flower. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Yeah. So some points that I want you guys to think about. What else we got going on, Hope?
Well, somebody in the Bay Area is asking, are they that far north?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's a good question also. Now, they are Africanized bees adapt very quickly to conditions, climatic, geographic. All right. They can withstand higher temperatures than climatic, higher temperatures than European bees, and lower. They were bred to be a better bee, which they are in every respect. They make more honey, they pollinate better, which is horrible for our native pollinators, but they're meaner than hell. They want to kill us. So, that's why deadly invasive species. So they are in Billings, Montana. They're in Alberta. They're in Alberta. There was an incident of Africanized honeybees in Indiana. A swarm was removed just a couple days ago. I don't know if Lee sent that to us or somebody. If you guys out there in Killer Bee Nation land have an incident that happened, you saw in the paper last week or something, or you hear it this morning on the news, if you can get a link for us or send us that article, we'll never see it. And the rest of the Killer Bee Nation will never see it either, because it's localized. It's not important enough to go national. All right. So if we were trying to bring more info in from other parts of the country and world about these bee attacks that have never been seen before, this aggression. And so you know, people are trying to pawn it off on, oh, did you make sure that you wore the right color clothing when you did it, without ever taking into account Africanization. The denial is not a river in Egypt. Okay, it's just ridiculous to me, actually. And then people like our good friend Jennifer and her son almost get killed from these damn things, and people are still protecting and propagating deadly invasive species. I don't get it. I do not understand. All right, so what do we got? Back to Hosha in the comment section. We're live chatting.
Well, Brad on Facebook asks, what are the native pollinators in the USA?
Wow, that is such a huge question, actually, Brad. Thank you for asking it. I mean, it's really huge. And by that, I mean numbers. Here there are over 4,000 known native pollinators, mostly solitary bees, but including some certain butterflies, moths, even our Mexican bats that pollinate agave plants, that Africanized bees will drive off, will go in, suck all the nectar out of the agave flowers, so there's nothing for the bats. So there are literally thousands. Now here in the northern Sonora desert area, we're very lucky. We have a lot of biodiversity. I mean, incredible amount. We have over 1,000 different species right here. That includes your bumblebees, your mason bees, your leaf cutters, your digger bees, your even sweat bees, cedar flies, which are not flies, they're bees. So, and most of them are solitary, once again, and no match for these invasive species, deadly invasive species, no match at all. So we're blessed in that we have a whole bunch of different ones that are specialized to the plants they pollinate, the native plants they evolved with through millions of years. Whereas here come the Vikings, the deadly invasive species, especially Africanized, and just rape and pillage. Literally. So we're blessed in that we have all this variety, but it's going away. It's becoming extinct because people insist on keeping honeybees and invasive species. Now, if you keep European honeybees, that's an invasive species. All right. Now, it never used to matter to us because they didn't try to kill us and our pets. We're very arrogant and myopic. We're humans. That's what we are. We don't, our native environment is, our yards are such a strange thing to us. All we can do is try to mow it and kill it, right? So these bees, native pollinators are in danger because of invasive species. Now we have this Africanization on top of it. So all of a sudden now the bees want to kill us. They want to. People are always saying to me, oh, you're provoking them. She didn't do anything to provoke them. Jennifer and her son, he went up, was 15 feet away looking at them, and they came and tried to kill him. This happens all the time to us. We look at worst bees ever on our, you can look at our YouTube channel. We're on, you know, our social media stuff. We got vids everywhere, educational and irreverent. So, but these now, so they're in deadly invasive species. So we're losing a lot of our native pollinators. Great question, Brad. Absolutely wonderful. What else we got going on, Hosha?
Now over here on YouTube, there's a question. Sounding Six asks, do you know the name of the pheromone he uses? He was asking another character on here. A pheromone to deter them. The one Reed says lasts for years. Would like to ask my exterminator to get some to spray on my property.
Well, no, there's a pheromone. The pheromone that we talk about that lasts for years is the pheromone that the bees that are naturally, pheromones are just smells. Okay, when we remove a hive, wherever the bees were attached to, whether it's wood, concrete, whatever the hell it is, those pheromones last for years. Okay, those are the pheromones that will attract a new swarm into the future. And those pheromones actually last 35 years. And they smell great. They smell good to us. They smell like a beehive. But they smell really good to a swarm flying by and going, especially if you don't remove the comb, they go, wow, furnished apartment, we're moving in. And they do, they love it. So that's a repetitive problem that we have all the time. Reinfestations. Now, the pheromone that we use, it's called, there's a couple of different ones the beekeepers use to drive bees out of the supers. And they last for a little while, but not that long. And even the pesticides that we use that we're licensed to use, we use residuals, but we don't use them that last for more than, I think the longest that we use is our Nuvan strips, which are pest strip that off gas for 4 months and are really hard on anything with an exoskeleton and 6 legs, arthropods. They're safe enough for humans to use, like you've heard me say before, where you can have them in a closet next to your bedroom, just not in your bedroom, right? So those are the pheromones. I wanted to clarify which pheromones we're talking about here. So I hope that helps with that clarification. What else we got going on, Hope?
Well, let's see here. Are there killer bees in Ohio?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, they almost killed. Well, here we go.
Yeah,
Ohio.
that tree trimmer.
Tree trimmer.
Young guy named
Last summer.
Austin.
Austin in
Yeah.
Tyler?
No, Austin in Ripley.
In
Ohio.
Ripley. I always get that wrong.
Yeah.
Ripley, Ohio. Look it up. He was a tree trimmer. They killed him.
No, but
that was Austin, Texas.
Well, in Austin, there's been a few deaths.
Oh,
in
there's been a lot of deaths.
Texas.
Of course, happens all the time. You don't even hear about it anymore.
Yeah, the landscapers, the tree trimmers, those guys, they get stuck up in harnesses.
They kick the ladder out because they're freaking out.
Yeah,
it happens all the time.
Yeah, but no, that was Austin was a young. He was like early 20s.
Early 20s, up trimming a tree.
Ohio.
In Ripley, Ohio.
And he was up trimming a tree, and they put him in the hospital. I think at first they'd estimated 20,000 stings.
Yeah, that's right. They estimated 20,000 with him. No, it would have been
like 4,000 or 5,000.
Yeah,
I
but
can't
4,000 or
believe
5,000.
Yeah, that's
my
crazy.
God, it takes 500 stings to equal a snake bite, a rattlesnake bite. So he's a tough little son of a gun. I'll tell you right now, if he's still alive. I hope you're okay, buddy. Man, I hope you're watching. Of course, we're preaching to the choir with someone like him, of course, right?
Sure, of course.
He doesn't need to hear from us, that's for sure. He needs to never do it again, because your immunity can go down dramatically when you get stung that much. It's not only delayed reaction and exacerbating existing conditions, but you don't want to get stung again.
Yeah.
Duh.
Is there anything that you could keep with you to help repel an attack?
I really wish there was. Unfortunately, there's not. When I teach safety classes for, sheriff, search and rescue, mine, the mine here, fire departments, etc. The big question is, how do you escape an attack? Honestly, it's hard. Cover your head and head for cover. That's really what I've boiled it down to over the years. You have to get into a vehicle, not run by the open door. You're not going to outrun them by running down the street. Get into the vehicle. Most people say, but then they're going to come in with me. Close the damn door. It's better to be inside with 200 bees than outside with 100,000. Okay. Now, I will admit, when you're getting attacked with or without a bee suit, actually, but without a bee suit, and you've never done this before, your mind goes away. And so it's really difficult to think clearly. Get into a building, get into a vehicle, do not jump into water. They go for the CO2 coming out of your nose and mouth. About 95% of people that jump into water die. They will chase the bubbles coming out of your nose and mouth, chase your trail. All right, they'll hunt you down. A lot of people that get attacked, and Jennifer actually said this the other night to me, when you get attacked that much without a suit, it's like being on fire and drowning at the same time. That's because they're stinging you. She said, my face was on fire and I couldn't breathe. Every time she'd open her mouth, bees. So when they've done autopsies, this is true horror story shit right here, guys. When they've done autopsies on people who've died from major attacks, their lungs and stomachs are full of bees, not a couple of them. Yeah, it's horrifying. Don't risk it. Yeah. So they got good questions here, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I'm Reed Booth, Killer Bee Guy. We got host on camera action. We had Jennifer Casey from Safford on a little bit ago. You'll be able to watch all this again on YouTube and all the other social media. We'll be making shorts out of it also. It'll be up. There's great info that everybody's asking about. And it was wonderful to be talking with Jennifer about her attack. Thank you so much for that. And what else we got going on, Hope?
Yeah, well, Jen, and I think she's kind of making a joke, but there's a woman called Jen on TikTok, and she kind of said, spray adhesive, but why wouldn't you do that? And where do people get in trouble thinking they're gonna
This is really good. So we use it, right? I mean, we use it, but if you're getting attacked and you have a can of spray adhesive in your pocket or your backpack, honestly, first of all, if you're getting attacked, you're not going to take your backpack off and try to find the spray adhesive, period. You're going to run. If you do happen to get it out and you're spraying, you have to remember we're in bee suits and we have 30 years of experience doing this. If they will attack literally thousands per second. I've seen them come out of a 1-inch hole at 1,000 per second. And they will do that half a mile away, a mile away. It takes them no time at all to fly that far. So if you're spraying with your spray adhesive, you're going to get 5 or 10% at a time coming at you. Now, you do that for 10 minutes, then you've knocked down 20,000 bees. So to carry that along as a preventative is you're going to die. You really are. So cover your head for cover. Now, another thing I want to touch on is if a bee bounces off of you, remember that old thing, if a bee bounces off of you, it's a warning. They're letting you know you're too close. No, it's a missed shot. They meant to get you. All right. These guys are not nice. There's nothing nice about deadly invasive species. My new favorite 3 words, along with mitigate the threat. That's what we do. So they're not nice. It's not a warning shot. It's a missed shot. So we do safety lectures for Forest Service down here. And we tell them, if you're out and you're hiking, if you're on a horse, get down off the horse, period. Because the horse can outrun them. And at least it's a bigger target and can outrun them and hopefully live through it. You can go the other way. All right. And more than likely, the horse is a huge target and going to be stung first. Unfortunately, I'm just telling you how to stay alive. And if you're out hiking and a bee bounces off you, turn around and go back the way you came immediately. And I mean rapidly. None of this, what was that? Where's that coming from? No, none of that shit. Okay. Go back the way you came and get back. If it's a mile away, go back as quick as you can, get in your vehicle. That's all there is to it. All right. And then if you're on a trail, alert the appropriate authorities. There is a hive nearby there, and they'll have us come out in Cochise County anyway, in southern Arizona, have us come out and get rid of it because that's an existential threat. So good questions, you guys. What else we got going on, Host, before we wrap this up?
Well, there's an interesting conversation emerging on TikTok right now about, should we outlaw honeybees? No, we need them for agriculture. Mm-hmm. And that's obviously there's a nuanced perspective there that I think people
sure. Now, Hosh and I have talked at length about this, of course, and it's especially with Africanization spreading throughout the country. Beekeepers, I think, should be educated. I really do. We're still the land of the free. Now, if you keep bees, I personally don't care. I can't. It's your life. It's your conscience. You're the one that has to go to sleep. Okay. If you're pro-invasive species and anti-native pollinator, that's your prerogative. That's not right with me, but who cares? That's your prerogative. And it doesn't sound right. You cannot be an environmentalist and conservationist and keep honeybees in the Western Hemisphere. You simply can't. You're destroying native pollinators, period. You're driving them toward extinction. And you cannot tell if your hive has gone Africanized or not. So that's up to you. I just want you to be informed about this what's going on now, not what was going on 40 years ago, not what was going on 100 years ago, not about our nice European honeybees. They're all but gone. And if they aren't now, they will be in probably 8 to 10 years. It will all be Africanized feral honeybees. The big boys that do this for pollination, they're pros, they're professionals. Let them do it. That's what they do. They take their bees out to certain fields for pollination and bring them back. They don't stop every 10 feet and pollinate and destroy native pollinators everywhere. All right. So backyard beekeepers, boy, oh boy, it's a real touchy subject because we're already the enemy and I don't give a shit. But they should people, and of course, educating beekeepers. Oh my God, you may as well educate rocks. I mean, because they know everything about bees, of course. And I was one. I'm guilty. I was one. But I'm more of a scientist, I guess, than an ideologue. Because when I understood that honeybees were invasive to the Western Hemisphere, I went, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. So I'm no longer a bee hugger. I'm see, I thought I was doing the environment a great service by having honeybees to help with pollination. Once I understood, especially with Africanized, that they not only want to kill me, but they're going to put our native pollinators out of existence, well, then it was a no-brainer. I'm wrong. No problem. Good. I'm good. So I changed my thinking. I changed my way of doing things. And now we're here. I don't know why that's so difficult for a lot of people. Given the facts, given the absolute, this is the way it is. You're killing our native pollinators. So we are pro-native pollinator. We do not condone, support, or in any way advocate the propagation of invasive species. Now, I say that in a broad general sweeping sense, of course. Who wouldn't? No one likes invasive species, period. They wreak havoc. Look at buffalo grass. Look at those fish that jump out of the water in the Mississippi or whatever the hell. Of course, given our situation, we're talking about honeybees. Honeybees are the ultimate form of colonization. So if you're pro-colonization, keep honeybees. If you're pro-invasive species, have at it. Keep honeybees. If you're anti-native pollinator, keep honeybees. Go ahead. I don't care. I just want you to be aware of what the hell's going on. Like I said, I was guilty till I realized, oh, this is what's actually happening. Oh, I'm wrong. Well, okay, I'm going to change the way I do things, change my mind about it. Done. And I sleep well. So anyway, we're gonna wrap it up here. How's the conversation going, Hosh?
Well, there's this, but another part of this is if we get rid of honeybees, would there be enough native pollinators for farms?
No, actually, I'll take that back because there are certain crops, like tomatoes, for instance, that native pollinators pollinate better. Now, as far as big ag monoculture goes, no, we need honeybees for that. Absolutely. Big agriculture, yes, that's where it belongs. It doesn't belong in your backyard garden, which is mostly invasive anyway. All right. And of course, if you're honeybees, there are enough honeybees they belong in Europe. They don't belong here at all. They belong in a professional sense with the big beekeepers, not backyard beekeepers. The main problem with backyard beekeepers is they can't keep their pollination area for those honeybees contained. You cannot keep your bees in your yard, for instance. They're going to go 3-mile radius and deplete and decimate native pollinators in a 3-mile radius from your hive to get nectar to bring back for you to have honey. That's all it really boils down to, is a selfish thing of you're going to sell some honey. So you can't control where your bees are. So let the big boys handle it. That's how it's supposed to. They can deal with it. It's not going to go away. And of course, we're not going to get rid of all of the feral hives. They're everywhere. These Africanized bees are so prolific. We're not getting rid of them. All we're doing is trying to make people understand what they're doing if they want to keep honeybees in the Western Hemisphere. That's about it, literally. So the way it is these days, things have changed with them, What else is going on, Hosh? Should we wrap it up?
Up to you. I mean, we can keep this conversation going, but I think we've made our point.
Yeah, we've made our point. We love having you guys along. Thank you so much for joining us. More coming, of course. It's an endless conversation. I do realize we could stay on all day, actually. I know that. And I wouldn't mind it so much, but we have other shit to do, Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Really, really love having you. And I really, really want to thank Jennifer for coming on with us and explaining to everyone. If you missed the first part of the show, please go back and watch on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you can. Very interesting conversation we had with another professional up in another county just north of here that got almost killed a few days ago Very interesting conversation. If you did not happen to see it, please go check it out. And of course, go to, YouTube and check out all of our vids, Facebook. We're on all the social media. And if you want honey, we take the money on the honey. We don't keep bees. No. We take the money on the honey. Nothing goes to waste. Even the brood comb where the babies are raised, which we can't use, Hostess chickens get. Yeah, so nothing goes to waste. We take the money and the honey. And so go to killerbeeguy.com and get some honey if you would. We're going to have some holiday specials and whatnot. Go to killerbeeguy.com and peruse the site if you would, please, and get some honey. Really want to shout out to all of our Killer Bee Nation, our family on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook, and those who've become members on YouTube. Thank you so much, you guys. Your honey's going out, by the way. And so the first of the month, if you're a Queen member on YouTube, you get a free jar of honey every month. Yeah. So those are all going out right now. And if you don't get your jar of honey, email me. All right. Let me know. You have my email. And let me know, because it's just us. And so it's like a small operation. And I'm not 20. I can't remember everything. So anyway, we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be live from the hive again. We don't know when. It could be 20 minutes. Might be this afternoon. Might be tomorrow. We don't know. We're on call. Waiting for the phone to ring. Go rescue someone. That's right. So thank you so much, you guys. I want to say thank you so much to Hosh. Hosh, come on and say hello to everyone.
Hey, everybody.
We got
Thanks
YouTube
for
here
being
too.
with us. We got YouTube's here.
Yeah, so say hi to everyone.
Hey,
Bye.
everybody. Yeah. I think the main thing is don't keep honeybees if you don't have to. Even if you're a small family farm, if you don't have to keep honeybees, don't do it. It's a necessary evil for big agriculture, for monocropping. Monocropping thousands of acres of one thing. They got to have one damn consistent pollinator in there that's getting that stuff done. But if you don't have to keep honeybees, don't do it. There's no virtue to keeping honeybees. There's no virtue in it.
Right.
It's
Well
a
put.
vice.
Well put.
So don't be a colonist, get native and support our native pollinators.
Thanks, you guys. We will talk to you very soon. Thank you for joining us. We love you guys. We're going to sign off and go be important somewhere else. Go to killerbeeguy.com and get them honey. Love you guys. Boy, good conversation, huh?
All right.
Yeah. I'm assuming that I got off on here. Did I?
Let's see here. I think so. Hold on. No, it's
Still on, of course. So
yeah, but we're not live streaming. I should. Oh, maybe we are.
I love YouTube's up there. Oh, well, that's technical.